It's another week of staying at home during the pandemic, and I thought it'd be a good time to tell you about our very first cruise. So our first cruise was on a ship called the Regent Star. The Regent Star was a very special ship. It was originally built in 1956 by the Holland America Line as an ocean liner. So it operated as Holland America, and then eventually they sold it to a company called Regency Cruises, and they named it the Regent Star. So let's talk about our cruise on the Regent Star, and I'll show you some pictures around the ship. Let's start our tour of the ship by walking around the back of the ship. The back of the ship, as you know, is where the pools and the hot tubs are and all of the lounge chairs. So everybody spends a lot of time in this area, and let's just check it out. Let's do a comparison of size. So this ship was the Statendam 4 originally, and it was 24,000 tons when it was built. In the 1990s, Holland America built the Statendam 5. That was 55,000 tons. And the current ship, the new Statendam, that's 99,000 tons. So this ship was very small compared to what's in the market today. Our first cruise was a Caribbean itinerary. So the ship started in Montego Bay, Jamaica. We sailed across to the Costa Rica. From there we went to Panama and did a half transit and came out the same entrance we went in. We went to Cartagena, Colombia, went to Aruba, and then finally back home to Jamaica. Now, let's take a look at our room. So here's my roommate, my uncle, coming into the room. And this is our room, and notice that we have a real porthole. That's something you don't see on a ship today. And here's our dresser, and there's the door to the bathroom. And here we've got a cupboard, and then the bunk is in the up position. And here the bunks are in the down position. So the room, as you can see, is very different than what you'd see on a cruise ship today. Now, let's go to the multi-purpose room and look at my sister as she has some seaweed treatment on her leg that she got talked into by the spa. But this was the multi-purpose room, so you'd come in here and watch the shows, or you'd wait for your tour to start. Kind of like today's theater on the ship, but it's not quite as big. Remember that this ship was built as an ocean liner. So at the very bottom of the ship was a swimming pool. And that pool was bigger than the one on the upper deck. Also, there was a movie theater in there, and it was kind of annoying because you could hear the waves crashing on the bow of the ship.
Kid, bienvenido a Costa Rica.
Sí.
Bueno o no?
Sí.
We've arrived at our first port of Costa Rica. So at each port, the cruise line hired entertainment on the dock to keep us occupied while they pulled the ship in. It was fun to watch. And now we're in the multi-purpose room waiting for them to call our shore excursion so we can disembark the ship, spend the day in Costa Rica, and have a good time. Let's find out what my uncle thought about his Cherries Jubilee.
And the cherry jubilee was excellent.
Oh, seems like everything.
Breakfast this morning.
In Costa Rica, our shore excursion was to go to a banana plantation. So that was fun to see how they grow bananas and harvest them. They also gave us free bananas, but for some reason the little kids charged my uncle $1. It was pretty funny. Coming back from the banana plantation, we took the train. And on the train, we had to stop in the middle of nowhere because there was a two-toed sloth. So everybody got off the train so we could take a look at the sloth that was in the bush. And it's still fun to watch today, don't you think? I still think this was funny. So in the lounge on the ship, they had a Greek dancing class. And my dad and uncle took that class, and it seemed like every day they were down there practicing their Greek dancing. Good for them. And here we've got the crew doing the muster drill. So it's good to know that in case anything happened, the crew was ready. So Regency Cruises went out of business in the 1990s. They kind of shut down suddenly. So we knew something was up when one day my uncle got a call from Regency Cruises, and they said, "Hey, can you go on a cruise tomorrow?" And my uncle was like, "What?" And so they said, "If you'll pay us whatever, you can come on this cruise and it'll be great." So then, like a week later or so, they went out of business. But I still think that was a funny story. When the cruise line filed bankruptcy, they just kind of shut down. They were building a new ship which is going to be called the Regent Jewel, and I believe that was never finished. Their other ships were either sold or sold for scrap. All their ships that they had could carry between 400 and 960 passengers, and the entire fleet was built in the 1950s and 60s. And today, Regency Cruises is nothing more than a memory. The next stop on our itinerary was the Panama Canal. So what the ship did here is we did a half transit. So we started in the Gulf of Mexico, did the Panama Canal to the lake, turned around at the lake, and came back out to the Gulf of Mexico. And you can see here that pretty much everybody on the ship was out on deck watching us as we transited the canal. And here's the pool on the back of the ship. Look how tiny it is. Remember, there was a bigger pool in the very bottom of the ship? I don't remember using it. But I do remember that we spent a lot of time at the hot tubs on the back of the ship. And here we are, lounging around. And that night, we had a birthday party for the March and April birthdays. And from this little clip of the birthdays, we get a tour of the room, so you can see how the rooms are so different then compared to what they are now. So we were opening gifts, I think, and everybody was kind of crammed in a little space here. But this was still a very beautiful ship, and the room was actually nice. We enjoyed it. I think if it was still around, we'd enjoy it today. So after the birthday party and after dinner, my dad took the camera and went upstairs to the Lido and filmed. So we've got about 20 minutes of video showing what's up there. So if you want to see that, go to the description below and click the link that says Regent Star Video. And here you can see what the ship looked like. Wherever we were in the Gulf of Mexico, it sure looked windy. And here's the promenade deck. It's fun looking back at these videos, seeing how the ships are different. Some things are very different on the ships, and other things are exactly the same. And what we're looking at now, this was the purser's area. So the video from the rest of the cruise is actually missing. We don't know what happened to it. But I can show pictures of what we saw next. So let's get off the ship and let's go to Cartagena and Aruba and then back to Jamaica. When we arrived in Cartagena, Colombia, we did a city tour. I'd be really curious to find out what was on the video, if there was a video of what our tour was in Cartagena. I don't think I've ever seen it, so I'm not sure there ever was one, because I think my dad spent the whole time filming up on the Lido deck that he used all of our camera space. Anyway, while we're in Colombia, I got to hold a three-toed sloth. And the final port that the Regent Star stopped at was Aruba. So here we went to the city, explored the town, and then we went straight out to the beach where we spent the whole day lounging around, just laying in the sand and getting in the ocean. It was a great way to end the cruise on the Regent Star. And now we're near the end of our video. I hope you've enjoyed this look back at cruising. It's changed a lot, but some things have remained the same. Anyway, I wanted to say thank you for watching the video. Be sure to hit like, subscribe, and click the little button to be notified of future videos. And on that note, I just want to say have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.